All right, ladies and gentlemen, please listen very carefully. Okay, I'm telling you right now, if you're one of these people who keep turning in things late, it's over. This is my official announcement. If you turn things in late, and it's every once in a while, I'm fine with it. I'm pretty understanding. If you're one of those people who continuously turn things in late, I'm going to start saying, nah, I'm good. Is everyone clear? Because some of you are continuously turning in things late, and I'm over it. I'm over it. You have had the same assignments in the same order for 9 weeks now. If you haven't figured out when they're due and how to get it done, that's on you. Now, of course, every once in a while, life rocks us. Can we agree? And things pop up, and I'm pretty understanding. But there are some of you who can't get their shit together. And I'm over it. So, this is your official warning. If things are coming in late, I'm taking points off. Clear? Perfect. So, on your desk, you should have both stimuluses, 2 sheets of paper, and your explanation of how to write an LEQ. Haley. We are in week 10. I'm aware that you wrote week 11 on all your stuff. Now you're writing week 10 because we skipped 10. Okay. Please listen. Take out your stimuluses. On the one that looks like this, I want you to write prompts. On the one that looks like this, I want you to write prompts. On the one that looks like this, I want you to write stimulus, SAQs, and LEQs. Oh my God! That means we're writing 2 different types of essays this week? Woo! How excited! So, when I say stimulus, it refers to this packet. When I say prompt, it refers to these questions. Is everyone clear on how this is working here? Perfect. So let's talk about homework. Your homework for tonight, aka the weekend, is you are writing. And please make sure you're following along with me. Prompts, which means you're on this one, yes? Period 4. So flip it to period 4. Question 1, which is this one. First question under period 4 makes it question 1. And question 3. Okay? So, Friday's homework. Prompt, period 4, number 1 and number 3. Those are both what type of questions? LEQs. Then you are doing stimulus. If it says stimulus, you're in this packet, yes? You are doing unit 2. This is unit 1. See how it's labeled? So we're obviously going to unit 2, which is labeled unit 2. And you're doing SAQ 1. Now, friendly reminder, please listen. SAQs have A, B, C, yes? In this packet, the LEQs are always labeled. Okay, because sometimes there are stimuluses and sometimes there are not for SAQs. There is never a stimulus for LEQs. Isn't that exciting? Oh, there is some joy in the world. People, you have to find it. Okay, so stimulus, unit 2, you are doing SAQ 1, which are these 3 questions. Okay? All right, does that mean you're doing the LEQ beneath it? Hell no. That's an LEQ. You're only doing 2 LEQs and they're from the previous one. You have 3 essays due on Friday. Due on Monday. 2 LEQs, 1 SAQ. This week you will be writing SAQs and LEQs. Your LEQ will be very similar to SAQs. You'll see where they overlap, but you'll also see 2 unique things to them, a thesis and contextualization. The nice thing is, the skills of the SAQ are embedded into the LEQ with the addition of 2 new things, a thesis and contextualization. There is a 3rd essay that you will learn how to write in January. And that's the DBQ, documents-based questions, where you have 7 primary sources. You have to annotate them, assess them, and then build an argument and use them as evidence. That essay also uses thesis and contextualization. Okay, so it has unique components because it has 7 essays, 7 primaries, but it is using the same structures over and over again, and that should make you feel happy. I mean, not joyful, but yeah. Okay, so questions about what we have for homework. Friendly reminder. Yes, Jay. Oh, girl, I'm getting there. That's how you write your actual essays. I'm getting there. Okay, friendly reminder. Does Miss Bennett have kindness and warmth for people who show up to my class unprepared during writing week? Absolutely not. It is better to not come to my class than show up unprepared. Yes? You will not be greeted with warmth and kindness. You will receive rage and animosity. You're not going to want it. So do not show up to my class unprepared. Do not. Because if you screw over yourself in a normal week, that's fine. We do a lot of trading and grading. You screwing over another kid is something I have no tolerance for. Is everyone clear on the expectations? Make it work. Figure out what you need to do. I'm going to help you plan, and we're going to start your first essay today in class. We planned it completely out for you. The faster we move in class, the easier life is. Do we remember that from last writing week? So, coming to class, be ready to work, coming up with answers quickly makes the quality of your life at home easier, yes? Just trying to remind you of some major fundamental points from last writing week. The more you come and participate, the easier your life is at home, okay? I'm also not going to allow the same 4 people to answer all the questions. You have to participate, okay? All right. If I seem exhausted and completely fried, it's because I am. I made a lot of money. Thank God. However, I was standing outside. I was working on the patio last night till 1 in the morning. Outside. Do you know how cold it is? They even gave me a kitchen heat lamp to keep me warm. That's how cold it was. And I really appreciate it because it was really cold. And tonight, guess where I'm going to be again? Patio. Till later. It is. It is. And my Christmas fund?
More than 50 now.
Way more than $50. Hell yeah. Here we go. All right. Take out your explanation of LEQs. Okay. You will know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of similarities between all the essays. They're not completely independent and unique. There's a lot of overlap, but every essay has its own unique components to it. Now, I am a huge fan of Hemmler. I don't really talk about him really first quarter because, frankly, you guys are just trying to get your feet underneath you. Hemmler, which is this dude, is on YouTube. Raise your hand if you've ever seen Hemmler's history. Hemmler's history is really, really, really good. I hate Crash Course. I hate him so much. Hemmler is amazing. He is like my go-to if I need just some clarification on something. He's absolutely fantastic. Your textbook, the AMSCO book, which is why I love it, is directly tied to the CED, which is directly tied to Hemmler's video. So if we're doing 4.2 in your book, all you have to do is type in Hemmler AP World 4.2, and guess what pops up? A video literally covering the content that is in that specific place. How wonderful is that? Okay, he ties everything directly to the CED, which is exactly what we do. Okay, so Hemmler also has videos on how to write essays. That is the link to it. You can watch it. This is literally a transcript of it. And I am going to change a little bit of it as we kind of go, because after kind of tweaking it and looking at a couple things, I do tweak it a little bit. But if you wanted to watch the video about how to do an LEQ, want a little refresh, especially later, this is the video I suggest. Okay. So, important things that you need to know. The LEQ is going to be the last essay you write on May 12th. You have a 2-hour block to write your DBQ and LEQ, and it's an open block. You have to manage your time. With that being said, AP thinks you are going to write your DBQ in an hour in 20 minutes. They're wrong. It's going to take you about an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes to write your DBQ. I can write a solid DBQ in about 45 minutes. Me. And I've been doing it since I was your age, and I'm old as hell. So, with that being said, it is going to take you a very long time to write your DBQ, and that's going to take up most of it. You're really, legitimately going to write your LEQ in about 15, 20 minutes. Which is fine. You will be just fine. Now, your DBQ and your SAQs get your 3s and 4s. It's the LEQ that gets you your 5s. So if you're looking for a 5 on this exam, you got to nail the LEQ. You need to do well on the others, but you need to nail the LEQ. Now, the LEQ, you will actually be writing in 15, 20 minutes. The formatting is actually very easy, okay? Now, they will give you 3 different prompts. You only have to write 1. Each prompt will be based on a specific time period. Question 1 is always between 1200 and 1750. Question 2 is always 1450 to 1900. Question 3 is always 1750 to 2001. That is the ranges of your LEQ questions, and they obviously vary. They'll give you 3 options. You get to choose 1 and go for it. Now, when we talk about the LEQ, the thing that makes it unique is, for the first time for you guys, you have to write a thesis and contextualization. Okay? Now, a thesis is when you restate the prompt, you create some sort of argument, and you list out how you're going to defend it. Okay? Now, it sounds way harder than it actually is. You've been writing theses for a while, haven't you? Hello? Now, am I English or am I history? History. With that being said, we're not writing these beautifully balanced, floral, beautiful essays. Hell no. We're getting in, getting our points, and running the hell away. Okay? So, our theses are going to be very straightforward, restating the prompt, listing the 3 things that we're addressing, and moving on. Is everyone clear? Okay? Keep in mind, every class has different expectations of like social studies, math, English. Your English essays are really focusing on the flow and the pacing. Ours are show us how much content you know. Okay? So, your theses. You have to be using real information. You cannot be saying vague things. Like, things were changing in Africa. What the hell does that mean? No. Demographics change. That's a real answer. Do we see the difference between the two? I'm going to write one for you today. You'll see exactly how it works. Then you have contextualization, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, students struggle with contextualization. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a Star Wars movie. Okay. I'm telling you right now, I almost said I'm not a Trekkie. Isn't that funny? Star Wars fans aren't Trekkies. That's Star Trek. No? Okay, good talk, guys. Okay, so I am not a Star Wars fan. However, I know enough to get me through. Don't embarrass me if I'm wrong. All right, so at the beginning of every Star Wars movie, you have the scrolling text that comes across the screen, right? In a galaxy far, far away. Isn't that how it starts? Yeah, see? Smartest Star Wars fan ever. In a galaxy far, far away, and this text just keeps scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. That is essentially the contextualization. It's telling you what is happening in the galaxy. The planet Nobu is fighting with... Oh, God, okay. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they're fighting. They're in a civil war. They hate each other. Death, 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 boom. Okay? And then it cuts to the opening scene. Yes? Where you see the characters for the first time and stuff like that. That is contextualization. It's essentially laying the foundation. Let me use another example. In the classic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there once was a story. Nope. Shit. How does it start? How does it start? Yeah. Oh. There.
Story all about.
Yeah. What is it? What is it?
What's the story all about?
How my life got turned right upside down. I'd like to take a moment, just sit right there, to tell you how I became the Prince of Bel-Air. Okay, yeah. That was pretty good.
That was great.
Thank you. Okay, anyway, so in this, every episode, it starts with the theme where he tells you how his mommy got scared when a bunch of bullies tried beating him up on the basketball court. So you're living with your auntie and uncle in Bel-Air, dude. Of course. Okay, so he goes off to Bel-Air, and that's how. Thank you. Kids like, what the hell is this talking about? Wrong period. Sir, wrong period. Okay, so the contextualization. We didn't read it right. What am I supposed to do? I got shit to do. Okay, so, and he tells you about why, and then in the first scene, it opens up to Will Smith wearing this crazy outfit while all the rest of his family are all wearing like cream color rich people clothes, yes? And that kind of explains the juxtaposition of Will Smith with his head tilted to the side with his like crazy pattern clothes. No. Guys, I am trying real hard, okay? That's contextualization. I will be writing you an example for you. It tells you what you need to know ahead or prior to the time to understand what's happening then. Okay? Way to make that easy, people. I'm going to write everything you need, Jay. All right, so the two major changes are theses and contextualization. For your theses, I want you to cross off despite counter argument. I just want you to restate the prompt and provide 3 evidences. Okay, now flip it to the back. This is how I really want you to format your essays. Okay, in paragraph 1, you are going to have a thesis, which is 1 sentence. Okay. In paragraph 1, you have a thesis and you have contextualization. So it's all found in paragraph 1. Your contextualization is 2 to 3 sentences with 2 pieces of evidence. What is evidence, Reese?
Stuff.
Don't tell me stuff,
Sorry,
Reese.
Like from like an article or some evidence on something.
Well, you can't use evidence to explain evidence.
I don't know how that's worded, but like.
Vocab words?
It's vocab. Yeah, it's vocab words. Words you learn in this class for this class. So you need to use 2 pieces of evidence in your contextualization. Body paragraph 2, body paragraph 1. So you have paragraph 1 and you have body paragraph 1. Sentence 1 is restate the prompt and include 1 thesis answer. So one of the things you wrote in your thesis, you are now using it as the focus of this paragraph. Sentence 2, you explain why the thesis answer is correct. What's the matter, Lucy?
What does it say?
Include 1 thesis answer. Sentence 2, explain why the thesis answer is correct. Sentence 3 is providing evidence tying it to the thesis answer. So if your essay is about Christopher Columbus, should you be telling me that Vikings caused feudalism? No, we're talking about evidence that actually supports what we're addressing. And then sentence 4 is tying the thesis answer to the prompt. This is your analysis.
What's the word after evidence?
Tying it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't notice, your body paragraphs are what? They're SAQ formats. It's SAQ formats. Restate the prompt. Add your answer. Explain why your answer is correct. Provide evidence, and then explain how it ties back to the prompt. So you already know how to do your body paragraphs because those are SAQs. The only new things of information is your thesis and contextualization, and these all get pulled through. Okay? Questions, concerns, comments about formatting? Evan?
What's like the difference between providing evidence to thesis answer and explaining why the
Oh, you're gonna see it here in a minute. What do you got, Ella?
Is the times 3 at the bottom?
Yeah, because there's 3 body paragraphs because you have 3 components to your essay, remember? Your thesis has 3 things specifically labeled. So how long is your typical LEQ? How many paragraphs? 4 paragraphs is your typical LEQ. Okay, a thesis and then 3 body paragraphs. Now, when in doubt, your LEQ is 3 body paragraphs. It's only when it specifically says give 2, then you only include. But if it doesn't say how many you do, there you go. All right, let's look at one of your homework for tonight, which will be period 4, question 1. I prefer it. No, I'm not that worried about it at this point, but eventually it will have to change. Here we go. So this is what an LEQ looks like for a prompt. In period 4, in period 1450 to 1750, new connections between Eastern and Western Hemisphere resulted in the Columbian Exchange. Develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which the Columbian Exchange changed one or more regions in this period. Okay, so we have a time period of 1450 to 1750. When you see that time period, what major event is happening in this? Sailor. Columbus. Okay, now they give you Columbian Exchange. So do you think Columbus is going to score ever in this essay? So as soon as you see the word Columbian Exchange, you cannot use Columbus. It's gone. So you have to come up with other evidence, and thank God we know plenty. So when we're talking about it, it's develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which the Columbian Exchange changed one or more regions in this period. There are 3 regions that really do change, and that's Africa, Europe, and the Americas. So we're brilliant. We're going to use 3. You could use just 1, but it's always better when you can diversify, yes? Diversity makes us better. Here we go. All right. So Columbian Exchange. How does the Columbian Exchange affect Africa? How does it affect Africa? Emily? Okay, so what's a fancy word for that? When you talk about gender imbalances, what is it, Penelope? Oh, yeah, that's totally wrong. Miss Roth. Okay, demographics is the word I'm looking for. Okay? Or you could say gender imbalance, either or. Okay, so demographics are going to change. Okay, we're going to have more women than men. That's what you're referring to, right, Emily? Yeah. Okay, why? Why do we have more women than men, Masat? The Atlantic system is not an answer. Nope. There's what you need. Triangular trade would work. Transatlantic. Slave trade is the best answer. But triangular trade would work. You can't just say Atlantic system. That doesn't score. Transatlantic. Slave trade. Okay, what is the outcome of transatlantic slave trade on demographics? Ella. Wait. Polygamy and what?
And like certain women have to take jobs, like certain jobs, like very.
Polygamy will cause what? Let's stick with one thing. If you're going to argue polygamy, which is true, polygamy is going to create more patriarchal society or less patriarchal society? More patriarchal society. And if it's a more patriarchal society, women are losing power or gaining power? Losing power. Perfect. Okay, Europe. What is happening in Europe? I already talked to Emily. I already talked to Ella. Rickert. So I like where your head's at, but it doesn't extend to which the Columbian Exchange changed. It would be a harder argument to make. You could make it, but you would have to work really hard to answer the question that way, and there's easier options to pick. So you're not wrong, but it's not good. Is that fair? Lucy.
Population started growing because they got new food.
New food items. New food items cause what to happen, Lucy? You just told me. Population growth. Okay, what items can we specifically state? What new food items? What do you got, Giselle? Potatoes. Do you like being in the general population? Is it nice? Nice. Okay. Populate potatoes. What is the outcome of having more people because of potatoes? Could you imagine a world without potatoes? It would be so sad. There'd be no point living, right? French fries are one of my favorite foods. I know, I sound like I eat junk food all the time, which is not true. But here we are. Roth!
They don't need as many people to farm, and they started creating like new technology.
Okay, so we're just going to call it proto-industrialization. Okay? Same thing that's going to happen in China with the introduction of what new crop? Yeah, see how it always comes back to the jam champa rice. Okay? So, Americas! What is going on in the... Is it hot in here, or do I just have fever? I think I also have a fever, but that's another conversation. Okay, what do we got? Christian. Christian. A little more enthusiasm. Disease spreads there. Disease. The colonizers. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, that's a little Black Panther language. Colonizers. I like it. But no, come on. Guys, what's happening in the Americas? What do you got, Wade?
A lot of the Europeans are committing genocide.
You have to kind of be careful on that one because you're going to have to make a lot of arguments about it. I mean, it's true. But how about we just write decline in population, yes? And Christian, why is there a decline in population? There you go. And what disease would be a great example? Thank you, Evan. You're not Christian, but I'll take it. Smallpox is a good example. Okay. Now, what is an impact of smallpox? Sailor. Okay. Yes, it does. We know that. Disease is smallpox. But what's the impact of that? What comes out of it because all these indigenous are dying? So they die and the Europeans are just like, ah, man! Tejas. Yes, kills indigenous. So Europeans need what, Tejas? Import slaves. Okay, so because the indigenous keep dying off, the Europeans are like, well, I'm not going to farm. And they start bringing in slaves. Perfect. Here we go. Contextualization. Okay. Contextualization is what has allowed all of these things to happen. Remember, this whole essay is about the Columbian Exchange. So what event, thing, change has allowed the Columbian Exchange to even begin? Rickard. Okay, yes, you are correct. But what would be a nice example of it? What? No, you can't use Columbus because Columbian Exchange is in there, remember? So right now you're essentially, if you write about Columbus, you're wasting your time, right? And we don't want to waste your time. What allows Christopher Columbus to make this voyage? Ella. Yes, but you're not giving me a concrete thing. What is a concrete thing that we can point at and saying, this is the reason why the Age of Exploration happened? Lucy.
Because they were trying to find another route to trade.
Fine. But there's also an easier answer. That's a good answer, and you could work on it. But what's another easy answer, Roth?
The rivalry between the bishops.
Okay, that's not a bad answer either. Hi, this is the answer I want because it's simple and easy in my brain. Prince Henry. Right? That's a nice, easy answer because he starts the navigation school and brings the greatest minds together and they work together and then it causes a boom. Yes? Without Prince Henry's navigation school, would we have had the Age of Exploration? No, so that is why it becomes the catalyst for everything that happens after. That's why it's a really good answer. The rivalry between Spain and Portugal is a good one, but I'd have to think a little bit, and I didn't feel like thinking. Talking about how, Lucy, the Italians were controlling trade is also a bomb answer. And those two answers are great contextualization. But I'd rather write this one because I don't have to think. Is that fair? Those are two great answers, and they would absolutely score. This is easy. Prince Henry navigation. Okay, what country is he in? Because remember, you need two pieces of evidence. He's from what country? Portugal. Okay, who or what comes out of this school? Who can give me some specific examples? Lucy. Bartholomew Diaz. Okay, what else? We need two pieces of outside evidence. What else we got? Bartholomew Diaz and what, Roth? That's a little bit harder to say directly, but we can say another person, an invention that comes out of it. Ott? Magellan. So Magellan is a little controversial. I'm going to do Vasco da Gama. Is that fair? Perfect. Here we go. On your second sheet of paper, we are going to start writing our essay. Now, in case you forgot, during week 6, y'all forgot to write your name on everything. Write your name on it. And remember, you need to write what essay it is. This is period 4, question 1. Prompt, period 4, question 1. Yes? Perfect. Here we go. During the time period. So what am I going to start with, ladies and gentlemen? Pieces. During the time period of 1450 to 1750, the Eastern and Western hemispheres were connected There is nothing worse than sneezing in a mask. I'm just going to say it. Damn it. We're connected for the first time because of the Columbian Exchange that will change demographics, introduce new food items, and cause population declines. In Europe, that's fine, we can leave it there. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is what your thesis looks like. Okay, it is not that hard. Can we agree? We already planned out our essays. You just got to string it together. It's done in one sentence, and it's a bit of a run-on sentence. Can we agree? Keep in mind, this is not English class. This is history class. They're grading you on a draft, not a final essay. Is everyone clear? Okay, here we go. So, we've just done our thesis, and now we're going to do our... There we go. Okay? The opening of the Columbian Exchange. Is directly contributed to Prince Henry of Portugal School of Navigation. That will become the catalyst of exploration for Europeans. Prince Henry School. Prince Henry School will train explorers like Vasco da Gama and Bartholomew Diaz, who will lay the foundation of skills, technology, and experiences that will allow Columbus to achieve his discovery of the Americas. Okay, there you go. So, your contextualization is just explaining why or what has led to this even happening in history. All right, here we go. During the time period, this is our first body paragraph. During the time period, (1450 to 1750), demographics in Africa changed due to the Columbian Exchange. Okay. So, how do we feel about thesis? We can handle it? Okay, it really shouldn't be that scary. It's just essentially organizing how you're laying out the rest of your essay. It's just that little planning part. Contextualization is 2 sentences long with 2 pieces of outside evidence. And then we're getting into our body paragraphs. The first one is just a restate and explaining what we're talking about. So we're talking about demographic changes. Africa's demographics. Will change significantly due to the Columbian Exchange because of the transatlantic slave trade that will be opened to provide workers for the plantations in the New World. Men will be the preferred sex for slaves, which will cause a significant gender imbalance on the continent. Which will cause polygamy to grow. The growth of polygamy will cause patriarchy to rise, and for the first time, the rights of women will decline in Africa, and their freedoms and respect previously experienced will forever will diminish. That's a good one. Diminish till the present day. Okay, so in this, I have a restate. During the time period of 1450 to 1750, demographics in Africa changed due to the Columbian Exchange. That's sentence 1, it's a restate. 2, I'm explaining exactly what is happening and why. I'm literally looking at this sentence 2, explain why this answer is correct. Africa's demographics will change significantly due to the Columbian Exchange because of the transatlantic slave trade that will be open to provide workers for plantations in the New World. Okay, that's why there's a demographic change. Men will be the preferred, so now I'm providing evidence. Okay, men will be the preferred for slavery, which will cause a significant gender imbalance on the continent, which will cause polygamy. Polygamy is my actual term, by the way. The growth of polygamy will cause patriarchy rise for the first time, and the rights of women will decline in Africa, and the freedom and respect previously experienced will diminish till present day. That's my analysis. Boom! Whoever read it was brilliant. Roth.
You only need one, like, evidence.
Yes. You need one piece of evidence per body paragraph, yeah.
Would patriarch not be a
It's not a great one, which is why we're not. Polygamy is something that you have to go out of your way to learn. Everyone should know patriarchy, right?
What about translation?
Even little babies wandering around, little Hanky knows about the patriarchal system, how we're going to burn it down.
Teach them why.
Of course. All right. How much time do I have?
4 months.
Ah. Do we want to keep writing?
Yes, keep writing.
All right, here we go. Okay, are we seeing that the LEQ is not that scary? Yes? It is a lot. That's why it's called a long essay question. I've literally said it 400 times, but yes. You think we just have to write one and walk away? You do not need a conclusion. You don't get any points for it, so don't waste your time, yes? Don't do it. Huh? You need 2 more, yeah. Guys, hello, you can't just write one and walk away and say, see how brilliant I am. Yes, you need to do them all. During the time period of 1450 to 1750, new food items in Europe will arrive because of the Columbian Exchange. Okay. So, I've just restated the prompt, and now I have to explain why this answer is correct. New food items like potatoes will arrive. No. Yeah, actually. Well, I'm going to also impress them with proto-industrialization here in a minute. What's up, Christian?
Because the question said, like, pick one or more regions, do you
I would always do at least 2. It's also easier to do it in different regions, and if you're doing different regions, it impresses them. Huh? Crunched on time? Oh, if you're short on time, I mean, it's whatever you can come up with first, but you can usually come up with something.
If we don't finish this in class, it's still
Yes. Yeah, you have to finish this. I've literally planned out the essay, people.
Go,
Aye, aye, Captain. New food items like potatoes will arrive from the New World and will increase European populations with this hearty, look at that, hearty new calorie source. With all this information. Calorie source. Perfect. Due to better crops like potatoes, populations rise, and less people are required to farm, which will begin Europe's proto-industrialization period, which will end in the Industrial Revolution. Will end in the Industrial Revolution. Okay, you do need an analysis. No, that's it. Yeah. No, yeah, that's it. No, there's analysis. You need analysis.
And industrial revolution, does that mean the lack, what it costs it?
Yeah, it's going to lead to the Industrial Revolution. You need analysis on this paragraph. Okay, it'll lead the because of new food crops, Europeans will take over the entire world because of their advancement.
Bennett would not be able to handle my little comments for writing me.
See, this is why she's gone. You're out of here.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett.
Bye, guys. Have a good day. You have 3 essays due to me on Monday.
Is it actually why you're moving that you don't like my
No,
little comments?
no, no.
I mean, you're still this close. You're
Now she's gonna get
No.
fired.